Okay, hello everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot. So today's video is your December predictions. So we're going to be looking into your love life, your career, any side hustles or hobbies that you might have that you're interested in, and in general, just your life overall for the month of December. There will also be an opportunity at the end of the reading to have any 3 yes or no questions that you might have about December to be answered, and we'll also look at your angel numbers as well. Just a disclaimer, I did actually upload this video, well, a December predictions today, but unfortunately the footage somehow got corrupted, so I've had to remake another one as I did not have that video as a backup. So if you've already watched that video today and you heard your reading but did not see it, then feel free to take those messages. But if not, if you still want kind of like a visual aspect, we're going to just be doing another one. So the messages are going to be a little bit different as well, but maybe these are new updated messages you needed to hear. So today we have 3 piles in our pick-a-pile reading, pile 1, 2 and 3. To choose your pile, you essentially just pick the pile you feel really intuitively drawn to, whether that's because of the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, or the numbers in the timestamps below. Maybe it's your zodiac sign you want to choose your pile based off of, so you'll find those symbols in the description box below. Or maybe you like to choose your pile based on the crystal or object on top. So for pile 1, we have the Gentle Heart Tarot with the Dogtooth Amethyst. For pile 2, we have the Good Karma Tarot with the Brazilian Amethyst. And for pile 3, we have the Harmony Tarot deck with the Purple Labradorite. Once you have chosen your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye! Okay, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the Dogtooth Amethyst, which I'm just going to place there. And before we actually get into your tarot cards, I actually want to pull like a significator card that's just there to kind of direct your whole reading and to represent the energy of December that's going to be in your life. Okay, so your card, is the Honey Calcite. So you have, I am filled with creativity and embrace my personal power. You also have creativity, joy, and energizing. So this is the energy that's going to kind of be in your life. It's this creative, happy energy. Then we've also got Crown, Sacral, and Solar Plexus. Then we also have Leo, Cancer, and Pisces. So the traits of Leo, Cancer, and Pisces will be quite heavily influencing December for you. So you'll be very deep in your emotions with that joy, embracing that personal power with the Leo. And then we also have 5 here as well, which can be your angel number for December. So we'll check that out later as well. Okay, so let's get into your love life pile. Okay, so we got 2 cards for your love life. And let's get an oracle card for your love life. It was both of these actually. Oh my gosh, guys, wait, I forgot to get my little intuitive ring, you know. Let me get that. Oh my gosh, it almost didn't fit over my nails. It's on. We're good. Okay, so let's get into your love life piles. Your love life cards. Oh, you've got 3 oracle cards. So we have From Beyond. Ooh, okay. Bit creepy. Bit cryptic. Lose my number, love. But alright. Then we've got Pets. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. Then we have multiple numbers. Let me move these out of the way. If I just kind of place them there, maybe. Then we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. And then we also have Temperance in reverse as well. Okay. This is really interesting because I'm trying to keep in mind your creativity and embracing your power and your joy. You might get a sign if you've ever lost a pet. Sorry if you've ever had to experience that, but you might potentially be getting a message from them, like a subtle sign that like they're with you, essentially. So it could be as simple as like a butterfly landing on your hand, or it could be that you're seeing repeating numbers that were relevant to you and your pet for some reason, like their birthday or something. Either way, there's going to be some sort of sign that you pick up on in December that they're around and they're with you. It's reminding me of like that Heretic movie though, because like, spoiler alert, if you want to see Heretic, don't listen to what I'm about to say. But like at the end, where she sort of says she hopes like when she dies she'll be born again as a butterfly and like land on her loved one's hand. It just brought that to my mind. But yeah, so for some of you, you might experience that, and it's not going to make you feel like, miserable. It's actually going to have the complete opposite effect. It's going to make you feel really quite happy, like quite full of love, because you're realizing like they're with you, you've got their support, they're okay, they're in a good space. And I think that's going to make you feel a lot better as well. But for others of you who maybe haven't ever lost a pet or aren't thinking about, signs and things like that, I'm getting two messages if we're taking it as a romantic partner. If it's a romantic perspective on your love life for December, I'm kind of getting that someone from your past is going to either be trying to text you, trying to DM you, or potentially you can see that they're looking at your socials and it's like pissing you off. Or you're going to get a message from them out of the blue, something like that, but you're so over it. And I think it annoys you because it kind of throws you out of balance just when you're feeling that joy and that personal power. It's almost like they steal it away every time they try and come back into your life, because once again you're like, why won't this person just piss off? Like, why do they keep coming up, ruining my mood, ruining my vibe? So I think if they do that again this time around in December, or if you can see they're looking at your socials, or maybe you're the person who checks out their socials, either way, because you're stepping into your personal power, you're just going to be done with it. So if you were the one messaging them or looking at their socials, you're not going to do that anymore. Or if they were the one messaging you and looking at your socials, you're not going to care and you're not going to reply. That's the energy that I'm kind of getting, because it completely throws you out of balance when they do that and you're sick of it. Like, you want to have your personal power and you're going to do that by, ignoring that. But for others of you, again, still from a romantic perspective, it could be that the people that are coming in for you at the minute are kind of toxic and not for you, or they might be fun temporarily, but not really like that interesting in terms of the long term, in terms of the long run. So yeah, you're not vibing with that either. But that's not to say you might not have a good time if you're approached in December by anyone romantically. That's not to say you won't have a good time when you're with them for the temporary. So it can be a lot of fun, a lot of joy, especially because I'm looking at like honey, which is sweet, and then the joy, and then the white horse, which is success. So I'm definitely, and with butterflies as well, it's like transformation as well. So I'm definitely getting those two messages of transforming in terms of like not repeating the same sort of habits and mistakes as before, where you're either checking their socials or you're replying at their every beck and call when there's someone who isn't good for you. But on the other hand, I am seeing as well that if people come into your life that aren't good for you, you're just going to be focusing on yourself and bringing sweetness to your own life and making your own life successful and joyous with other forms of love, with pets and friends. So decentering a lot of romantic love is what I'm kind of seeing for you in December. Let's take a look at your career now. I felt that one as well. Sorry, I took a sneak peek. I'm sorry. I was curious. I didn't know what this one was. So anyway, my little hair clip is coming out. Oh, I'll just take it out. I feel like straight away you're going to be getting more comfortable at work. because my hair clip just started to slowly kind of come out, and it made me be like, oh, fuck it and take my hair out. So it makes me feel like you're probably gonna be getting more comfortable, caring a little bit less about what other people perceive you as, and just kind of knuckling under and getting work done, basically. So we have the mirror. Smooth, clear, and reflecting light, mirrors represent purity of heart in many cultures and are truth tellers in Western fairy tales. Then we have the Three of Diamonds in reverse, and then we also have the Sun as well. Just because the Sun's in reverse doesn't necessarily mean it's not success. I am seeing success, especially with the... Can my fake nails help me out, please? I was wondering if that was wings or just a sheet, because I was seeing it as wings. But I believe it's just a sheet. But I definitely see a lot of success for you in your career in December. I do see you kind of working harmoniously on a project with others. I believe this project's going to be successful. So if there's something you've been working towards, rest assured it's going to pay off well. Like, it's going to do fine. So if there's like a presentation you've been working on or anything like that, it is going to turn out okay. Or if you've been rushing to meet like deadlines or sales or whatever it is by the end of December, you will reach it. But I feel like there's an opportunity here that you have enough time to seize, but it's about you coming to the slow realization that you need to seize it. So it's something you're very aware of already. Like, you're quite in tune with this situation and with this opportunity. I think it's that you're aware that you've suddenly got the opportunity to get to know others at work. You've suddenly been given the opportunity to spend more time with them, potentially because of a project you're working on. And so the more you're sort of spending time with them, the more you're kind of torn between, should I be my very professional self and show that side of me and show how supportive I can be at work and things like that? Or should I show my true self and be my carefree self and be like funny, entertaining, be exactly who you naturally are? But I think you're coming to the realization you don't necessarily have to overthink it that much, and you also don't have to choose between the two. Like, you can show both things at once. So, like, you can show that you're professional and you'll have the team's back with this project, but you can also be yourself. So you don't always have to be the, like, stern or, like, really focused, productive person. You can be, but that doesn't mean that you have to then stop being, like, your fun version of yourself. You can be both at the same time and show people both sides to you. But it's also one of those things where, like, you don't have to overthink it. If, you want to be your natural self, it shouldn't have to be this hard, calculated thing. It should just be you being your natural self. I think as well, you're going to have a few personal revelations this month to do with your career. It could be revelations about what you actually want and what you see yourself doing in the future, where you see yourself. Asking yourself questions like, do I see myself in this job, in this company, in this field, like in this career, or do I see myself doing something else somewhere else? So I think you're going to have a lot of self-reflecting revelations, and I think you'll be transforming as well. But just remember, whatever path you choose to go down, wherever you end up, whether that's continuing on with the one you're on, maybe switching it up just a little bit, or maybe completely doing a 360, well, a 180. Just rest assured there is so much success waiting for you, especially because you've got the Sun card, but also the White Horse. So much success for you. Also, potentially, if you are looking for a romantic connection, I know this is your career pile, but you might find it in love as well, because White Horses can represent that romance as well. Okay, so let's check out your personal life next. Just in general, any wider messages for you in December that might not have anything to do with the topics we've brought up so far. So you have the Wolf and Rosehip with Guardianship. We also have the Two of Cups in reverse. We also have the Five of Swords in reverse as well. I'm definitely seeing overall a message of decentering romantic love. And I see you pouring your love into other avenues, so into yourself, your friends, your pets, or things like that. So I do see you pouring love elsewhere. It's also not necessarily about pouring love into like a person or a connection. It's also about pouring love into the things you do as well. So like things you're interested in, like your hobbies, or like if you're going out for the day, really investing yourself in it and having fun and letting go, rather than kind of being kind of timid or shy or withdrawn when you're outside, or thinking about, oh, I've got that project at work. Just forgetting it and having fun. So it's also about pouring love into the things you do and how you do them. So I can definitely see that happening. You're reflecting a lot on love as well. And then we've got guardianship and the Five of Swords. So I was getting the impression with your work pile as well that potentially you may need to have your colleagues back on things at work. So for example, like if you've got like a really overbearing manager or someone else in somebody else's team who's always pointing the finger and being like, you guys don't meet deadlines on time, when actually it's their team that are always doing it, or they're trying to like make lies about your team, things like that, just those kind of typical pesky people you get at work sometimes. Those people, you may have to deal with them in order to protect the rest of your team. That's why we've got guardianship. I think you might be the mentor and the protector in this scenario. But this card is also about like for like, so you also receiving that same loyalty and commitment and guardianship. So reflecting on your surroundings and thinking, who has my back? Who can I trust? Things like that, while also making sure you've got everyone else's back and you're also that being that person to them as well. So let's take a look at your side hustles, your hobbies. So we've got the orphan, and then we also have the seed. Sorry, my shuffling skills will not be the best today, as I have on some very 3D nails, and I don't want to ruin them. So, we have the Page of Crystals in reverse. We also have the Seven of Crystals. Ooh, okay, yes. Okay, I'm seeing this. This is interesting. I'm getting like a few messages. So either way, I do feel like there is a hobby of yours or a side hustle of yours, either or, that was abandoned. So it could be that because of life, you just didn't have the time, the resources, effort, energy to keep up with your hobby, and it's something you feel quite bad about because you really enjoyed it and you don't want to lose that talent of whatever it is. And so you're wanting to do it, but you feel like your time is just preoccupied with like other things. And so you're kind of sick of it. And I think in December, you're like, you know what, fuck it. I've got a little bit of free time coming up. Let me reinvest in this hobby again. Let me have fun again. So it could be, let's say, like while you were in education, you had a lot of time to draw. And so drawing was something you were really good at, and you were getting to a point where like you could do super realistic art. And then as an adult, someone who has to, focus on work and making money, maybe you didn't have as much time as before to focus on this, and you're worried you're kind of losing that talent, and you're sick of it, and you're sick of the fact that this kind of life that you're leading has made it so that you can't enjoy the things you used to. And so you're going to be reinvesting into it, or at least you're doing it in a very big way. Like you're doing it in a way where it's going to be taking up quite a lot of your time. So it could be that you do a complete 360 and you're like, you know what, if it matters to me this much, I'm going to go after a job where I can do that hobby all day. Like one of those things, where you're doing a complete 180 on the thing that it is that you were kind of being led towards, but you don't want to be led there. So definitely starting something new and abandoning something. On top of that, if it's more of a side hustle, it could be that two things. So it could be that this side hustle just wasn't working for you, and so you're going to come back bigger, better, stronger with either a new side hustle idea or a revamped version of the old one. Or it could be that you were excluded from something that you actually put all the effort into. So it could be like you were working on something like a side hustle. Let's say, I'm just going to use an example because this is all I can think of that's coming to mind right now. But let's say you were working on like a podcast with 2 other people, and you brought the mic, you brought the camera, you brought the tripod, you know all the editing, you did all the editing, you did all the scheduling, you put things in each other's diaries, like you made the diary schedules for everybody and said, we're meeting this day, this time, let's make this happen. You were the one sort of wrangling everyone together, coming up with the topics, writing the script for it, posting it, you know, promoting it on other social media and things like that. And they decided one day, like, you're not going to be a part of this anymore. We've decided you don't really bring anything here. You're going to kind of be like so unbelievably calm because of how much audacity they have. Because obviously if you've been doing it all and they've not noticed any of the efforts and the things you've been doing, and then to the point that they've actually excluded you, then you're like, fine, malicious compliance, you know, I'm going to go and make my own podcast and it's going to be 100% better than yours because you now don't have an editor, you now don't have a tripod, a camera, the mics. They don't have any of the things that you were bringing before because it was all you, and they're pretending like they don't know that and that they can do it on their own when they can't. And so you're going to go away and you're going to make something 100 times better. So it's one of those situations as well where it's either that you yourself have had to abandon a project because of circumstances and you're like, I'm not going to let this slip through my fingers anymore, and you're going to go after it. Or it's where you were forcibly excluded from something and you're going to come back bigger and better and stronger. Okay, so let's also check out your angel number now. And we're also going to do the yes and no questions as well. So let's check out your angel number 5. So number 5 is ask a loved one for help if you're feeling low. Yeah, especially with that pet message in the beginning, it might be nice to reach out to somebody, and also it might help with that kind of sense of joy and happiness. So we're now on to the final part of the reading where you can ask any yes or no question pertaining to the month of December, and I will try my best to answer those for you using these cards. If there's any answer you're unhappy with, just remember we do this every single month here, so if you ever want to receive a different answer for the same question, you can come back and watch next month's video, ask the same questions and see if the answer has changed in any kind of way for you. So go ahead and ask your first question now and I will reveal the answer to you. Choose a new direction. That was with your hobbies and side hustles for sure. Even your love life as well. Everything was choosing a new direction. Okay, go ahead and ask your second question now and I will answer that for you. No. Go ahead and ask your third question now and I will answer that for you. Get more information. So you need to get a bit more studious on this thing before you go after it, essentially. So that was your reading, pile 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Brazilian amethyst, which I'm going to place here. So before we actually get into your cards, I do just want to pull your significate card for the reading that's going to kind of decide the energy that's going to be in your life in December, the energy you're bringing, the energy December's bringing to you. Okay, so let's find that significate card. Okay, so you have rainbow fluorite with my connection to my higher self keeps me calm and focused. Okay, so this month is going to be all about your higher self and the keywords calm and focus as well. You have the number 2 here, so that could be your angel number for December, so we'll check that out later. And then it also says grounding, increasing and enhancing intuition, manifestation, third eye, crown and throat, and Capricorn and Pisces. So that Capricorn and Pisces energy is going to be with you in December as well. So all the kind of traits of Capricorn and Pisces are going to kind of influence this month for you. Okay, so let's check out your love life first of all. My shuffling is not going to be on point today because I'm wearing very 3D nails, so I'm not going to risk it. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle card. So you have the solar plexus chakra. You also have the sun card. And you also have the moon card as well. Wow, real juxtaposition here as well. I like that. So I'm getting 2 messages because of the 2 differences here and also the solar plexus card. So with your solar plexus, it's kind of all about whether or not the universe is supporting you and whether or not you're able to trust your own intuition. So the universe is essentially going to be stepping in with your love life to give you direction and make you trust yourself and your gut more and feel more comfortable with yourself as well. So, for example, you might be someone who likes to be in relationships because you're afraid to be alone. So then the universe will help you feel so much more comfortable being on your own, because sometimes, love life just isn't the vibe. And so the universe might actually be stepping in to make you feel really solid and whole within yourself and happy, and kind of keeping to yourself will lead to your success in terms of that as well. So if that is the message that resonates with you, take that. But there is another one that I'm going to be talking about, but it's like the more you keep to yourself and work on yourself, work on trusting your intuition, listening to your own inner voice, the more likely you are to be successful. But for some of you, this can also mean trusting your intuition with dating. So not necessarily pulling yourself out of dating, but if you'd still like to date, you might be concerned, how will I know who's the one? How will I pick the right one for me? How do I make sure I end up in like a good, healthy relationship with a great person? And it's like, well, trust your gut. Like, you're so worried that you're going to be manipulated by someone that you're almost underestimating how strong your sense of perception is of other people. Like, have you ever been in a room with people and there's someone that makes you really uncomfortable and you're like, I need to leave this situation, I don't trust that person? If you're able to identify that person and then feel really comfortable around others, then that shows you do know how to identify someone who is going to be like a good option and a safe option versus someone who isn't. It's all about trusting that gut instinct. Even if you're like, you have no real feelings around them, you don't necessarily feel 100% wholly trusting, but you also don't feel really concerned about being in their company, like with other situations, then still, again, that is not the person for you, because if it was, you would feel 100% comfortable and trusting, So it's all about trusting your intuition, because that's going to lead to the success you're looking for, whether that's figuring out how to be more comfortable on your own or figuring out who the right person is for you as well. So in December, the universe is going to be kind of helping, and your solar plexus chakra is going to be helping to guide you down the direction you want. So if you want a love life, it's going to be helping you find good, safe options by trusting your intuition. And if you don't want a love life and you want to work more on figuring out like who you are as a person and focusing on yourself, it's also going to be helping you feel so much more confident within your own skin, being alone as well. Either way, both of those routes really successful. Like, it's not like one decision is better or worse than the other. They're both good options, it's just whatever suits you, Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at your career. Ooh. Wow, you've got a lot of cards for your career, so there's a lot of messages that want to come out for you. Okay, so let's take a look at these. So firstly, you have famous person. That's crazy. Okay, so some of you might have the dream to be famous, and it's definitely coming true, bitch. That's so crazy that came out for your career card. It can also be that you're just making yourself really known in your career as well. But before I start analysing, let me keep looking. Oh, I like this lion. Paralysis. Okay, I'm seeing very clearly what's happening here. I'm going to take one of these cards because there's not space for that one. The 9 of Coins in reverse. cat. We had a lion, a cat, and then famous person. It's like from small to big. So then we've got pets. Unlike an animal in the wild, your connection with your pet is more intimate, and so your dream message is likely a more personal one. I like that. Okay. And then we also have the Sun card again, success in your career, and the Hermit in reverse as well. Okay, so you're really gonna be putting the work in, and it's gonna pay off. Like, this is reaping what you sow. Here you're sort of seeing this lady walk around her garden, and the wealth in this situation is the crops that she's grown through her efforts. So one day those were just seeds that she had to plant in the mud, and then she had to tend to them every single day, and now they're these beautiful, bountiful flowers that are really valuable to her. So there's something you really need to put the work in with in terms of your career in December, and that's also why we've got the Hermit card as well, because with the Hermit, obviously you're retreating, but you're kind of retreating to better yourself, to gain some sort of knowledge in something, and once you've gained that, you then step back out into the world and into this new, better version of yourself. So straight away you're stepping into that success from Hermit mode. So there is something you need to be working on in December that will really, really pay off in a big way. And I'm kind of seeing as well, like, from pets to like that lion, from that cat to that lion, there's something you're not very big yet, you're not very you're at the not intermediate, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like at the beginner stage, I've forgotten it though. An amateur, that's it. You're kind of an amateur at the thing that you're doing at the minute, but amateur comes from the word love, amar. It's about doing things for the love of it because you genuinely enjoy it, and that's what's really going to motivate you. So you're going to be kind of asking yourself these questions, like, is the thing you're doing in your career something you love? And if it is, really invest your time into it. If that's something you really, really want to come true, really put the effort in to make that happen. And take yourself from intermediate to master, because a cat versus a lion, one of those is the master, although arguably I would say the master is the beginner, because apparently like cats have like the highest kill count. They're like the top, one of the top, if not the top predator in the world, because of just how efficiently they can pest control is the word I'm going to use. So I would even say you're in a better position now than you will be when you're an expert, because from this angle, from this point of view, you can have eyes on everything, you can see everything that's going on, whereas when you're at the top, you can only see from the top down. It's hard to know what's going on in these levels if you're not involved in them. So because you're a part of that level, you can actually see where the weak spots are to kind of pounce on and work on, and you can see what needs to be improved to make yourself this expert level. And then we also have famous person here, so this can be in a very literal sense. If you are wanting to kind of be a famous person, then this is coming through really clearly, like that should be your goal as your career, is focusing on that, of kind of being someone in the limelight. And as well, the Sun card has that kind of subtle message as well, because while it is about success, it's also about being in the limelight. Like, it's about the plants coming towards the sun, like all this attention, all these people, all these eyes on you, because you have this energy that just draws people in. So it's about being something that draws attention, about being like this famous person, someone that a lot of people watch and have eyes on. On top of that, there can be a secondary message here that can join in with that message, or you can take it separately if fame is like not something you're interested in. But with being famous, it also sort of says here, I'll read it out to you. Famous people gladly take the microphone and amplify their voices, or face the camera and project their image widely. They've risen to impressive heights, whether by talent, persistence, luck, or a combination. So from that, I'm kind of getting, in your career, you're going to excel in it. You're going to do really, really well, no matter what your career is that you want to do, because of your persistence, your effort, your natural talent as well, and the luck that you kind of have on your side. Because of all those things, you are going to be really, really successful in your career, no matter what it is or what So if you've kind of been worried about that, for December, you're really going to be seeing that. Like, you're really going to be seeing how well you've done and how well you could do in the future, and you're going to have your eyes set on like a goal. On top of that, I also think two more things. So if you're someone who feels like a little bit ignored or undermined, or like a bit like a underestimated, basically a bit like a dark horse, no one takes you seriously as like someone who they could give like a really big important project to, but you're going to prove yourself in December to be that person. On top of that, people might not take you seriously or like listen to you, maybe in terms of conflicts at work, and they might not believe you, but that isn't going to be the case in December. Things will be coming to fruition. So if there's anything where you were hard done by, it's going to be revealed in December, but it might even be you who does it. So like keeping receipts, I 100% would advise you to keep email receipts of any misdemeanors going on, but keep them in your personal private email, not your work email, because they can go in and delete those. So if anyone's been trying to set you up for something you didn't do and kind of tamper with your career, make sure you have those receipts as well. But I'm also seeing you're going to be like you have a lot of important messages to deliver, and you will deliver them in your work. And it could be that you start to combine your important beliefs and your opinions with the type of job that you do. So you might actually go down a route where you kind of have to merge personal with public, and with professional with political, and kind of speak about your opinions and stuff, and that will happen because I think you might be someone who could speak for people who are disadvantaged or minority groups, anyone who kind of is overlooked or overshadowed in society. I think you could be a real spokesperson for them, so that's also coming through as well, and that might be your true kind of calling as well. I also think daisies are important to you, and I'm not sure why, but I was thinking I wanted to put daisies down on one of these piles and I didn't know what one, and then I saw the daisies here, so it makes me feel like you're my daisy pile. So I definitely think, and there's like little daisies here as well, so yeah, daisies might be an important flower for you for December or for the year ahead, or just in general this could be an important flower to you, but I definitely go look up the symbolism of daisies because that's coming through strongly as well. Now we're going to be looking at your general life predictions for December. Okay. I really feel like it's just one, and I don't know why, because usually it's like 2 to 3 and this one. Okay. I got the same one for pile 1, so if you were drawn to that, you might want to check that out. But we have the Three of Swords, and we also have Guardianship. Oh, someone's going to be supporting you for sure. Like in December, if you've had a lot of heartache, and it doesn't have to be anything like too serious, it definitely could be, but it can also be like if you've just been hard done by a little bit, like as I said with that work situation. If you have a sort of work situation like that, there's someone who's going to be coming to your defense, who's going to be quite loyal to you and point out the truth. They're really going to have your back. They're a justice seeker and they are a diplomat, so they're definitely going to be getting involved if anyone tries to mess with you in December as well, and maybe standing up for you. But this is also a like for like card, so you will also in turn, I think, be quite loyal to this person and do the same. On top of that, if you've been dealing with hardships, or even just dealing with grief and things like that, for sure go seek like confidential counselling, because that can be really helpful. Especially if you just want to talk, counselling can be like a good option. But in general, I just think there's going to be a lot of healing in December from this heartache. There's going to be a lot of spiritual support around you, potentially from pets as well, because you did have that pets card. And because I am getting connections with pile 1, I'll also say that. So I feel like you might be having a lot of spiritual support, or potentially support from people around you as well, and from the universe. So if you're having a hard time, rest assured it's temporary and you're going to be supported. But that was a very big message for you because it was the only one you got as well. Okay, so let's take a look at your side hustles now. The riddle. Okay, any more? Potentially that one. Pyros. Again, I don't know if you can tell, but we're kind of getting that lion again, because that is definitely a lion's eye, or a cat's eye, or something like that. It's interesting as well, because for your Pyro I kept thinking I wanted to put a cat eye crystal down instead of the amethyst. Strong cat imagery. Cats might be your spirit animal for December. I've just popped the cat's eye here because it seems to be for your Pyro anyway. So we have the Knight of Coins, we have the Queen of Coins, and the King of Coins. That's crazy. Okay. So crazy. Okay, so you're really going to be doing well in your side hustle. You're really up leveling. If there's like a goal you've been working towards in your side hustle, you're reaching it in December, or you're very close to it in December at least. You're starting to figure it out. There's a bit of a not like a learning curve, but a bit of, like, you need to use a bit of tactics when it comes to this side hustle. There's actually a method to it. There's a sort of almost a secret, almost like a secret code that you almost have to know in order to do well at this thing, and you've figured it out. You're figuring it out in December and you've worked it out, and then you're going to be putting the effort in to then apply that strategy towards this goal that you want with your side hustle, and it's just going to make you climb on from there, because we've gone straight from Knight, Queen, King. Like, you are literally climbing in the toppest level, in the highest level, and then obviously we've got the cat lion eye again, so it's that point of like going from amateur to mastery. So this has more relevance to your side hustle for sure. So whatever your side hustle is the thing where that cat lion energy is relevant, and there was something you needed to know in order to do well in it, and you're gonna know it in December. You're gonna know that and move forward with that. There's another eye right there in the middle. You've got your eyes on something, and I did say that it could be like you literally have your eyes on a goal, but I did also mention before that the eye could also be that because of your level at the minute, you've got eyes on the situation, which helps you see more clearly than someone who maybe is a master at this. In your amateur level, in your level of like, you just genuinely love and enjoy this thing, you actually see where the weak spots are and you know how to work on them and move forward. So yeah, you've definitely got a lot of dark horse energy, a lot of skill and strength behind you, and it's really going to help you monetarily. This thing is really going to pay off. It's going to be very valuable when you reap that reward as well. Okay, so keep at it, pile 2. Keep working towards this thing, and you will get there. Okay, so I did just want to check out your angel number. So you had the angel number 2. So your angel number says a new journey awaits you. Be brave and venture forward. I love that. Especially in line with all the other messages you were kind of getting. So we're now on to the final part of your reading, which is where I will be trying my best to answer any 3 of your yes or no questions pertaining to the month of December. Just remember, if there's any question that you ask and you really don't like the answer, we do this every single month. So, you know, you can come back next month and ask the same question and see if your fate has changed in that time. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will answer that for you right now. Listen to your intuition. Go ahead and ask your second question now, and I'll answer that for you now. Yes. Go ahead and ask your third question now, and I will answer that for you now. No need to worry. Oh, and there's a little hedgehog there. So, that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more readings from me. If you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to go check those out now. I definitely recommend pile 1 for you, if you were drawn to it. And if not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello my pile 3s. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the purple labradorite, which I'm going to pop here. Okay, so Before I get into your tarot cards, I do just want to pull a significator card. And this card is just going to be determining the energies that are kind of around you for December. So let's get into it. Okay, oh, I love this one. You have hematite. I detoxify and transmute stress into balance and harmony. Balance and harmony, bitch, yes. So these are the energies around you in December. You also have the number 9. So that could be a potential angel number for you for December, so I'll check that out later for you. And you also have grounding, balancing, detoxifying. Absorbs negative energy, willpower. Chakra is the root, and the star signs are Aquarius and Aries, so that is like a really goofy, positive, fun friend energy. And then also really fiery, intense, self-absorbed energy, putting the self first, thinking about yourself, being independent, being strong. So yeah, those are the energies that are around you right now. So let's pull some cards for your love life. Okay, so we have wild animals, and then okay, and you also have the 9 of spring, so the 9 of wands, and you also have the 9 of autumn as well, which is the 9 of swords. That's really interesting. I think as well you're the first pile I've had where you're actually getting some upright cards as well. So that's cool. So yeah, the number, oh my gosh, I just realized your angel number is 9. That's crazy. So 9 is really, really coming through strongly for you. I will check out those messages because you've got 3 9s here as well. I just want to check out your angel number right now because I feel like it's coming through so strongly. I don't want to kind of tag it along at the end of the reading. Wow, number 9 is love is coming your way. Someone new is entering your life. On your love pile and everything. So you're really, really strongly getting that. That's so crazy. Okay, so someone is coming into your life for sure, in a romantic sense. And it's going to be kind of explicit, I will say. Very compatible in a particular area. With the root chakra here as well. So I do feel like you're quite anxious about your love life. Well, you will be in December. You're going to be kind of worried about it, worried if like things are going to work out for you, if you're going to get the person that you're kind of looking for, all those sorts of like kind of things where you're just a little bit concerned. You're also kind of, I think you're going to be having a lot of dreams of like situationships in the past that didn't work out that either you're like embarrassed about or you just wish never happened or you wish had happened differently, and they're going to be kind of, those thoughts are going to be kind of bothering you in December, but you're gonna kind of get a moment where obviously someone's coming in for you. I don't know if that's happening in December, but it definitely is happening. And we have 36 here, so it could even be when you're 36 or something, or past that point. But with the 9 of spring here, contrary to the 9 of swords, you're going to kind of have a test of faith, a test of courage. So you're going to need to be brave, like this tiger here, and go forward with what you want. So that essentially means if there's someone that you're attracted to and you are wanting to, you know, have a connection with somebody, you need to take action in that moment. Take the future of your love life into your own hands and go after it. Like, go up to that person, ask them out, you know, try and make it work. Like, if there's someone you're actually into, then go after it. Like, don't let your lack of courage in that moment kind of, don't let your fear overpower your desire in that moment. Be brave, venture forward, go for what you want, be respectful of boundaries. If someone says no, leave it. But, you know, if the vibes are right, then why not go up to somebody and ask them out, you know? Or online if you prefer, as is the norm nowadays. But yeah, I would say there is definitely a new journey in love for you. It's just all about whether or not you're willing to go with it, go with the flow and see what happens, and whether or not you're willing to kind of put your anxieties and your fears and your what ifs to the side just to enjoy this experience, you know? Okay, let's pull some cards for your career now. And I'll go get your oracle card as well. Okay, so let's take a look at your career pile now. So, you have pets and music. So, unlike an animal in the wild, your connection with your pet is more intimate. And then you also have dreams are rarely accompanied by their own soundtrack. After all, only about 50% of dreams contain sound. But musical instruments, musical scores, and musicians make frequent appearances. While less common, you might hear a familiar or unique composition in your dream too. Music is a universal language, and our musical preferences connect us to group identity. We also have the Divine, and we also have the Seven of Autumn, which is the Seven of Swords as well. Look at that balance and harmony coming in straight for you. I knew you would get that card. Okay, so with music as well, because you've got harmony here, balance and harmony, music is all about harmonies, harmoniousness. So you're going to be feeling really harmonious with your career path in December. You're going to be feeling like you're in the right place. You'll be enjoying it, enjoying the environment, or you're going to be feeling really unanimous with the ideas that you have and the hopes you have for your career in the future as well. But I'm also seeing a really healthy work-life balance. Like, you're really going to be making sure that you spend enough time at work, but you also aren't pulling away from your personal life and the things you love to do. So you're spending like a decent equal amount of time at home and at work, maybe working from home as well, which can really help to find that balance. Spending more time with pets, so maybe that's something that makes you feel like you are getting balance, is when you get to spend time with people you love and pets you love. That makes you feel like you have more balance in terms of your career. You're going to be expressing yourself more at work in a way where, like, you're just going to be freely you, like very calm, very chill, very mellow. Coming in, not worried about being super duper professional, if that makes sense. Like, you might have been someone who was afraid to walk in with like a coffee cup and with your earbuds in or something, because then it's like, you're almost like, it looks like you're not taking it seriously. Whereas now you're like, it doesn't matter, let me come in with that coffee with my headphones in and block everybody out. Like, you're gonna just be who you are, if that makes sense. You're gonna be feeling really connected to your job. You're really going to enjoy it. And you're going to be making really good progress in terms of how you interpret and interact and perceive your job. So, like, you might have been someone who viewed this position really negatively in the past because of A, B, and C, like there's just several reasons why it just wasn't for you and you didn't feel like it was for you. But then you're going to realize, like, actually maybe you were being a bit too harsh on it, because realistically, when you start to take a step back and look at it, you're going to realize, like, this is actually a pretty decent gig, a pretty decent salary, a pretty decent, position that you got. And you're going to be kind of reflecting and feeling like you are actually enjoying things. She's got loads of little daisies here, which are really drawing my attention. So maybe check out pile 2, because they had a lot of daisy influences as well. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. You're cutting out a lot of stress and toxicity, which is changing the way that you perceive your job as well. So if there's anything toxic about it or stressful about it, you're just not going to engage anymore. So it could be that after work you would always be thinking, oh, but I need to do this tomorrow and get that project sent over to them, and you're not doing that anymore. You're like, no, my mind is my own outside of work. Like, I'm going to cut out those thoughts and think about things that don't stress me out. And that's how you kind of find that balance, is because you're literally removing that stress. Once the clock is over, once it reaches that time, you're out of here, okay? You ain't got to stay. Like, your mind doesn't have to stay. You know, even if you're gone, why should your mind have to stay at work 24/7, you know? So you're kind of figuring that out and putting the effort in to detach from work once those hours are over and it's your time, you know? And if there's anyone toxic at work, you're just not interacting with them in any way. You might even have a mediator, if that makes sense, like someone who talks to them for you so you don't have to. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so let's take a look at your general life now. My gosh, romance is coming through just so strongly for you. I don't think I've ever had a pile where it's like come through this strongly. Okay. So, you have bashfulness with the opossum and peony. You also have romance with the finch and peach. You also have forget-me-not. And you also have the 5 of spring in reverse, which is the 5 of wands in reverse as well. You're really going to be challenged on that kind of fear and that timidness around romance this month. So that challenge can even be, obviously, if someone presents themselves to you romantically, if they come into your life, if they message you, if they talk to you, if they show interest in you, that's already you being tested, because it's testing how you're going to respond to this. Are you going to genuinely like sort of think about what you want and then act on that? Or are you just immediately going to be, you know, very shy, very timid, very closed off and not really have an energy that's kind of open to receiving? So it's about finding that balance, because these emotions are good. Having that healthy sort of level of concern and resistance and a little bit of like fear and just wanting to suss out situations, it's good for self-preservation. It's why there's that term scaredy cat, you know. Cats have that scaredy cat energy because it's a self-protection thing. It's about keeping yourself safe from potential danger. But at the same time, do you need to have that 24/7? No. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's scaredy cats aren't scaredy cats all the time. They're also very brave, very curious. They're also really good hunters, and they're also really good at going after what they want and making sure they get fed. So it's about finding that balance and that harmony again with your significator card. So keeping that energy for when it's needed and then putting it to the side for when it's not. So you're definitely being tested with your romance, because there's going to be things coming in for you for sure. And I think this is a very, very special connection. Whoever this is, I don't think you're going to be forgetting them anytime soon. I definitely think this is a very powerful, potent connection, I will just say. On top of that, I do just see you going after what you want relentlessly in general, in terms of like not being too concerned about what other people think. You're going to start kind of putting yourself first with that Aries energy and doing things you actually want to do. And going after that. I do also see a slight dip in your creativity this month, and that could be because you're busy focusing on other things and maybe you're just a little bit distracted, but there might just be a little bit of a creative block for December, like a creative writing block, or maybe a block from like drawing and things like that. But yeah, those are just some general kind of messages that I was getting for your life in December. Okay, before I even shuffled, I kind of pulled out the bottom 3 because I was feeling those by accident, so we're going to look at those. And this is for your side hustle. Okay, so let's take a look at your side hustle. So you have the crow. I just love all these like chromy, dark black like colours that you've got going on. Then we have the 6 of spring in reverse. And we also have the 9 of winter in reverse. Again, we've got that 9 coming through. We have the ocean. We have apocalypse. We have Thanatos. Hope I said that right. And we also have the tear. The tear. I'm not thinking of a tear like a teardrop. I'm thinking of a tear like tears, like hierarchy. I think you're going to be getting a lot of support and guidance from the universe for your side hustles and hobbies in December. You're going to be feeling really emotionally tied and invested to this thing this month. Like you really, really want it to work out this month, or it's that you're feeling like it's just very close to home. So if you ever receive any feedback on it or any sort of criticism, it's going to hit quite hard. And similarly, if you receive any praise for it, it's going to feel really good. So you're going to be feeling very, very invested in it. You might even do a complete 360, well, 180 of whatever it is that you wanted to do initially, and kind of mix it up a bit in order for you to reach a certain level that's different to the level that you're at now. I also see if your side hustle or hobby is anything with like that involves a comment section or getting like feedback in that sense, it's going to be kind of blowing up a little bit. There's going to be quite a few things coming in, a few messages coming in. With this card, there's a big energy of like self-worth, hustling, especially because it's in reverse here. And then with this one, it's about ego and kind of your own personal view of success. So you kind of have to question why it is you're feeling really, really emotionally tied to this thing. Is it because you're putting a higher value on it than there needs to be? So for example, are you like, this has to work out and this has to be successful, because if it's not, then I never amounted to anything in life, or like I'm not, worthy, or whatever it is. And it's like, you can't think that way. So you're going to be challenged on that, because it's like the more you continue to tie your self-worth to this thing, the more difficult it's going to feel to do it. The worse you're going to feel every time you do it. The worse you're going to feel thinking about it. It's going to suck all the joy out of it. So you have to kind of put your ego aside while you're doing this thing and just genuinely enjoy it and reevaluate what this looks like to you in terms of success. It shouldn't look like how you start to see yourself. Success should look like an actual marker of success. So like, oh, I made a sale today, or like, oh, someone, I don't know, liked this thing today. It should look like that. It should look like an actual physical material marker of success and not something about yourself. It shouldn't be a reflection of yourself. On top of that, I see you working really, really hard at this for this month. I think, again, because you're feeling so tied to it, tied to the results. The results somehow directly affect how you perceive yourself. And so I think you're going to be putting a lot of effort in, because you might be feeling a certain type of way about yourself. You might not feel successful in other areas of your life, which is making you overindulge in this area of your life, much to your own detriment. So don't get me wrong, hustling is not a bad thing, but you just have to make sure you're not tying yourself and your emotions into it, because then it's going to hurt if things don't work out how you want it to. So you have to make sure you're kind of protected as well. Like, there needs to be set times when you do this hobby, and then there needs to be times where you don't, and where you just actually enjoy yourself and do what you want to do and live your life. And you genuinely put it out of your mind in that time rather than focus on it. I think as well, just because we've got apocalypse here, it could be that your circumstances are not that great, and because of that, you're kind of comparing yourself to people who do have good circumstances. So the reason that it might be really hard for you to be patient with your side hustle and see it through is because you feel like there's like a time on it, like a time limit. And you feel like the longer that time limit goes, the less successful you are, which definitely isn't the case. But it's kind of saying you need to challenge that, because if you don't, then you're going to be very upset. Although I will say the ocean here seems very calm and very mellow, so that's the it's coming through strongly that you're already realizing this, and you're already pulling away emotionally from it to keep yourself protected, and that's going to work out for you. That's the kind of message I'm getting there, especially with here as well. You have to try and keep yourself protected from this thing. With Thanatos as well, with these, well, all of these cards actually, they all symbolize, the root of it, they come down to is grief. So you might be grieving the fact that your side hustle or something isn't working out, and that's why you're putting so much energy and time into it, because you're panicking that you really, really want it to work because you've already invested a lot into it. So you're almost throwing yourself into it in order to get the same results you were getting before, or in order to get really, really good results that you might not have reached before. But with Apocalypse, there's an element of like, sure, it didn't work out, that's the harsh truth and you have to face that. But now that you've got that information, you can then start again with this clean slate, brand new slate, and start building it back up from the bottom to the top in a new way that fits this new environment better. Because in the past, if you had continued on with your hobby pre-apocalyptic world, then it might not have, that's not going to work out when the apocalyptic element comes, when this change comes to how you need to be doing your side hustle. So of course you then have to change how you're doing your side hustle to fit this new environment. By the way, I'm not saying an apocalypse is coming, just so we're clear. I'm just saying, like, if a change in circumstances means you have to change your side hustle, trust me, it's for the better, not the worst. It's not like you've lost something. If you feel like you have, grieve that and then process that and heal, because it's going to be so much better for you set out like this than before. So you haven't actually lost anything that's going to affect your success, because success is an unlimited resource that's available to you at all times, all year round. So, it's kind of saying just because you have to start anew, it doesn't mean it's going to be any less, impressive or won't be as successful as your last thing was. It's just that you're doing it up new, and different doesn't mean bad. There's also a lot of eyes here, so I do feel like a lot of emotions are connected into this, and there also might be a lot of witnesses to this downfall, which may also be why you feel so bad about it, because you're feeling perceived and judged. But just ignore, like, the judgment, ignore those people, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how you feel and how you recover from it as well, and who was there to support you as well. So there's definitely a lot of spiritual protection around you as well. Okay, we're now on to the last part of your reading, which is where you can ask any 3 yes or no questions pertaining to the month of December, and I will try my best to answer those for you using these cards. If there are any answers you're unhappy with, just remember we do this every single month. So if you'd like to ask the same questions again next month and see if anything has changed in your fate, then you can do that. So go ahead and ask your first question now, and I will answer it for you now. Listen to your intuition. Go ahead and ask your second question now, and I will answer that for you now. So you have let go and no need to worry. That's really giving to me the last sort of message of let go of whatever it was you were grieving with your side hustle, and don't worry about it, because there's still so much success waiting for you. And go ahead and ask your third question now. Not the right time. Okay, so those were your answers, pile 3, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot.